David Stark here with Resilient Living, and I just want to ask you one really important question. How long do you want to live? I know that's kind of a nebulous question, but that's really what is on my heart and really what Resilient Living is all about, helping people answer and prolong. And I know you may not know me very well, you may know me really well, or we haven't spoken in a while, but it doesn't really matter. I care about you. I care about everybody. It doesn't matter what race or religion, where you're from. We all bleed the same color. Our hearts are the same color. And we want to keep our hearts beating and our families eating for as long as possible, no matter what happens. And that's really what I'm here to do. And also exposing the deceptions that lead to death. And there's a lot of different things out there that are not good for us, from just the intelligence agencies fighting amongst each other, keeping us in the dark to what's really going on in the world, to pharmaceutical companies who actually want to keep people sick because sick people is $1 trillion industry. And onto the Federal Reserve, just mass producing money and using more debt and just keeping the truth away from the public. And we want to believe that the economy is doing great, but if you really look deeper into the analytics and all the stuff that's going on underneath, it's not as safe as you want to be. And there's a lot of other countries who are wanting to take that top spot away from us. And there's just a lot of propaganda going around in the society and the media, just trying to tell you what to believe, just giving you the headlines, not telling you what's actually going on in the articles. And most people don't even read the articles. But I don't want people just to be fed lies. I want them to have the options and get the truth and really have the solutions that they need. I don't want to get to the end of my life and have people come to me as like, well, if you knew this was coming, why didn't you tell me? Or if you had the solution, or you had a cure, or you had something that could really have prolonged my life, why didn't you share those with me? And that's really what I want to do. I know people think it's, crazy to try to save the world, and I'm not really trying to save the world. I'm really just trying to help the people who are proactive enough to see what's going on and giving them the solutions and the resources and the knowledge to protect themselves, protect their families, increase their health, and just really have the life that they want, to live the long, healthy life and just be safe and ready for whatever may come. So I'm just going to walk you through my website, through some health and wellness tips and some of the companies that I trust, to how to prepare for natural disasters, and show you really an overview, because I have a lot of people ask, like, what is resilient living really all about? And I've been trying to do that with little segments. So I'm making one whole video and just really trying to wrap it all into one. I hope it's not too long, but I really think that if you stick with me and even just partially engage with resilient living, you'll be glad you did, and your family will be glad that you did. And if you fully engage and you want to help me, want to work with me, that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a community that wants to bind together, survive, and just be, not reliant on anyone else, but the people that you really trust, and with your own stores and your own intelligence and your own community is really what I'm trying to establish here. And yeah, absolutely, I'm trying to sell things, but I can't just give stuff away. I'd love to be able to give stuff away, and that is really the goal in the end, is to be making enough with the group effort that I can be supporting my community and I can be supporting other communities and starting to build more. And as it goes along, you'll understand more. But without going too much into it in this introduction segment, I just want to give you an overview of my heart and what I'm really trying to accomplish and how I'm trying to help people. So please stick with me. And I know it's cliche to say that this opportunity and what I'm trying to do is something that could change your life forever, and it might sound arrogant, but I truly believe it, and I really believe that that is the truth, because I can see where history has led us to, how human nature reacts to environments and sudden distress, which most people have no idea sudden distress could even come on them or want to believe that it will. But if it does, you'll be glad that Resilient Living was here to help you. And by then, if something does happen, you won't be able to get a hold of us. So being proactive now is very important. But before we move on to the solutions and more about what Resilient Living can do for you, we really need to make sure that you understand why you would even need to listen or even watch the rest of this video, and why you would need Resilient Living's help to do so. And so there's a few things that you need to think about and just know more about. And the first thing is there's a lot of talk about the Cascadia subduction zones, earthquakes, volcanoes, and all the stuff like that. Really, in Oregon or the West Coast, the fault line that's just off the coast, which could create a huge tsunami, really break up all the coastal areas and shut down a lot of power. And that wave will come in, go up the rivers, and come around the backside and come in through all the low-lying areas. So if you're below 200 feet, there's a high likelihood you could actually get wiped out, or at least all your utilities get wiped out for months, because it would take a long time to recover for something that wiped out a whole coastline from Canada all the way down to Mexico. And so that's the first thing to really think about. Yeah, we don't want to believe that natural disasters happen, but where is Pompeii today, and all these hurricane islands where it just gets completely leveled because a storm came through. So nature itself is always against us. We humans are very intelligent, and we have the ability to protect our families and ourselves using our own technology, but ultimately there's nothing we can really do to know when it's going to happen, but we can protect ourselves so that when it does happen, we'll be able to rebuild. And the next part to really think about is economics. So with the Fed printing trillions of dollars a year of paper money that is backed by nothing more than nuclear missiles, no gold, no anything else, just the fact that America is the biggest economy, that should worry people. And they don't realize that we're, $22 trillion in debt right now. And when you account derivatives and how we're using debt to pay off debt, if you did that, your banks would eventually come, call you and say, you need to stop doing that, and the check will come due. But it hasn't happened in America yet. The economy is great right now, which is why I really am trying to do this right now when you have the ability to spend a little extra money on survival gear. But there will come a day when the economy changes, and if you know much about fintech, which is financial technology, there's a lot of change with blockchain and cryptocurrencies and gold and silver, and there's a lot more about that. But real wealth is not just little pieces of paper with numbers on it. There's a lot more to it, and that's something that you need to protect. And so that's another aspect of why we want to help you protect your family and your assets in a lot of different ways. And then sadly on to the political scene, which if you're following the news at all these days, you can see what's going on with the president, with impeachment, with them versus us, the left versus right, Antifa versus this, and there's just a lot of turmoil going on. And around the world, there's riots. I mean, Hong Kong is at this point now, I think, about 6 months in riots over political and just unrest that's going on all over the world. There's a lot of revolution talk in the air. There's civil war talk in the air. And we don't like to think about that. And with just the impeachment that it is, there's just so much division in this country. And the last time a large group of actors and mainstream media people colluded and talked about killing a president, they actually followed through. And that was the last American Civil War. And I know we don't want to believe that that's possible, but human nature is just what it is. Generally we don't become more evolved. We just learn how to kill better and hate in different ways. And it's not a fun thing to think about, but it is what it is. And so we need to think about how to protect our families, how to get amongst the people that we can trust and we will watch each other's backs. So that's another aspect that needs to be considered and planned for. And another important aspect of resilient living is just your health. I mean, all this stuff we've talked about doesn't really matter if you're already dying before any of it can affect you. And so with the pharmaceutical companies, some of the drugs out there are really good for you, but a lot of them really aren't. You hear those long lists of things that are really, all these side effects that could happen. And a lot of the products you use, there are a lot of toxic things you don't realize, what contributes to cancer, degenerative diseases, and low energy levels. And there's a lot of suppressed technologies that can really help you live healthier lives and have the energy you need and not get some of the diseases that are staring you at the face. And so we want to share that information with you, and also with just having the right nutrition and the supplementation and getting the things your body actually needs to rebuild itself. Because with the way the food is being mass produced, it's not anywhere near as nutritious as it used to be. And a lot of processed foods that just aren't actually food, but they taste good and they do fill you up, but there's hardly any nutrition in those. So that's just some of the things that we want to help you understand, and the things that Resilient Living Solutions can help you with. And so that's what we're going to be talking more about. So all that being said, without going into too much detail on the politics and the economics and the natural disasters and the toxins in your food and in your home and in the energy levels and diseases that are attacking you, and the list goes on, and there's more to be said. But later on I'll do more videos about those topics specifically and how to counteract them, and just to be more aware, because knowing is half the battle. But now I'm just going to go into a walkthrough of resilientliving.solutions, our website, and how to use it and what we offer, and really just some of the stuff that really can be life-saving. And I just appreciate that you guys have taken some time to watch this video, and with some of the interviews that we have coming up in this video that can really help you understand my heart and my mission and what Resilient Living is all about. And just stick with us, and the next section we will be able to really outline how you can interact with us and to start getting prepared and become resilient for you and your family's sake. Okay, well, welcome to our website. This is resilientliving.solutions, and we just wanted to walk you through this right here. Just first wanted to start with our mission statement, because this is really important. Our mission is to keep your heart beating and family eating for as long as possible, no matter the circumstances. So really everything that we're about here is to just make sure that you can keep yourself and your family alive. And there's a lot of different variations of threat and things that we can help you do, and so we're just going to walk you through that right here real quick. First of all, there's this little introduction video that's just a kind of a cartoon that briefly explains it. It's about 1 minute long, and you can watch that if you want. And then just about staying connected. If you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, just click on this. It will take you to the YouTube channel, and then it'll give you a button to subscribe if you have not yet already done that. And we'll be posting some of our newer update posts on here, and some of the blogs that we'll be writing, and there's more events and announcements. And really the next section is how to upgrade yourself, because I really want people to be able to have what they need in all the different areas, and that starts with your health, and I'll go more into these in detail, but really just making sure that your immune system is built and you're able to get the nutrients you need, and you're not getting toxins in your body. And there's a video that kind of explains that better. The next is to upgrade your resources, so having some supplies and food and water and gear and some books. And we'll go into that more too. There's a video that kind of talks about that. After that, it's really about your knowledge, what you know, and we have a path to resilient living, and we'll just look at this real quick. You can access it up here too. But basically, this is an online workbook that really just kind of outlines, the different sections that you can look at, from the what ifs, which we talked about a little bit, but a little more detail as to what those are. And that's step 1. Step 2, be ready to leave. So if your house was ever in danger and your family couldn't survive where you are, you needed to be ready to leave within minutes. Be ready to stay. So if there was a disaster or any kind of conflict where you're at home, you need to have the things that you are ready on hand to survive. And step 4 would be just learning more knowledge about gardening, emergency preparedness, homesteading, aquaponics, security, a lot of those different things. And then step 5 is more of just the more well-rounded, the wholeness of resilient living. So talking about financial preparedness and physical preparedness, just working out, being healthy, and even onto emotional and spiritual preparedness, because that's a big part. Your will to survive and what you believe in, or what are going to keep you going when all your supplies fail. And so that's really just where that starts. And on the main page, we'll go back to this, and there's some videos about that. And the last thing to upgrade, step 4, is upgrading your team. And we've talked about this a little bit, but really we want to help you and your family find other families and people in your community that you can have a plan with, be able to survive if there ever was, doing life now so that you get used to working together. And then in the future, if there is any catastrophe, that you guys can work together. And there's a video I've made that talking about that. and also our featured survival innovation, which is the Nano Silver Soul. And there's a video here that talks about all the history and science about it, and I'll talk about that more when I get more into the health section. And at the bottom is just kind of just the outline of the shop. So you have the different sections for disaster preparedness, just having bug out bags, and they're in order from what you need, just being able to get home, or if you stay with your car, leaving home, medical, stop the bleeding, make sure you have water and food, and then hygiene, security, and it just goes from there, and all the different things, different sections, so that you can go through those on your own time, see what you need, and add to your supply list. And then we also talk about health and wellness and profit sharing, because we want, a lot of people have an issue, well, that's great, but I don't have any money to do that. So also just wanted to let you know that we are an Amazon affiliate. So if you buy anything from us through our Amazon, we get a small credit of whatever you buy, even if it's not something we suggest. You just go through either this portal or one of the products in our shop, which I'll show you later, and get whatever you need, and you really help us out and help the community, and we can grow faster. And a lot of people use Amazon, so it's just the easiest way I could find for people to get what they needed. And then just contact us. At the bottom here, you can email me or call anytime. Check out our Facebook page, but really we just want to start a relationship with people, and that is the main page. Okay, so now we want to just move on with some of the key sections of the website. There's an About section that you can go to, and you can learn more about the founder and the company and all that, and you can do that on your own time. But next I want to look more into the shop. So there's the Survival Cure Checklist, which is the small boxes that you saw at the bottom of the main page, or you can go to the expanded shop. And so we'll click on the shop here. And so this section of the website is the more the survival disaster preparedness, the general video that tells you how the checklist works. Basically, it's in order, from starting your planning, your budget, making sure you're talking to your family, getting them on board, and each of the videos about it, and then next, being able to get home, leaving home, medical, if you're bleeding to death, that's the first thing to start, and then making sure you have water or food, and it goes on from there, just the different areas that you can get into. And so the way that this shop works is, so we can just go into one of these here. We'll go into the car bag. And so the car bag is something you should always have one of in each of your cars, so that if you ever needed to walk home after a disaster, or your car dies and you need to, a day or two of supplies, this is what you would get. And there's a video talking more about it. And basically all these Amazon links are just to things that we recommend that you get, high quality, well-rated products. And you can click on any of these and get whatever we recommend. It's a good one that is well rated and it has a good price range. And you could even go up here and search for anything if you needed diapers or anything else, and you decided to purchase that. We would still get some credit for that, so we would appreciate if you always shop through our website to go to Amazon. But we also don't recommend that you get everything that we recommend if you already have one. If you already have a backpack that's just sitting in your closet somewhere, use that one, and that's totally fine. And then you go through here and look through what do you need. Do you need a poncho or a map or toilet paper, water, food rations, flashlight? Just fill in the blanks of what you would need. And this bag specifically is really just to get you home. This isn't a long-term living. And then at the bottom, after you've gone through this one, you can click on the next one and go to the next thing that we recommend, which is the car box. And we're not going to go through all these because it's pretty well self-explanatory, with the videos that can help you in each section and all the things that'd be good to have in your car, and then onto your bug out bag. And so this is really how the shop works. And then we can go on to the health and wellness and profit sharing section after that. And this is really the part where people need to start, because if you don't have your health, you really have nothing. As just something to really think about. It's great if you have a big pile of beans, but if you're already sick and dying before a catastrophe, then it won't really matter. And we do have a video that explains more about that. And so we want to help people understand more about health and wellness. Is more written information in the Path to Resilient Living here. And also with profit sharing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But the company that we really recommend is Melaleuca, the wellness company. And this is a company that my family has been working with for almost 30 years. and has done so many amazing things for us. And it's a company that you can trust. With all the pharmaceutical companies out there who are really not doing that good for America, with filling all their products with either water and poisons, vitamins that don't actually work. Most people who take vitamins I don't really notice the difference. Well, because you're not taking vitamins that anyone put any serious time, effort, or money into developing the top brand. And so Melaleuca is basically a membership-based company, kind of like Costco, but you shop online, similar to Amazon, but they make all their own products, and all of these products are top of the line. This is the best stuff they can get. Most of their products are derived from essential oils, and it's really the best between science and nature, and that is what their goal is, to enhance the lives of those they touch by helping people reach their goals. And there is a page here. This is more the general outline. It just tells you about the company. They have a lotion that really it's outperforming all the other competitors. People with eczema, dry skin have tried all the others, no help, and Renew really does it. And then there's one about detoxing your home. A lot of people don't really think about what's underneath their sink, but that's really the stuff that could be killing your kids, and stuff when your kids get into something and they drink it, and then you rush them off to the hospital, get their stomach pumped, you're really worried about the poisons that are in there. You come back the next day and then cover your house again in that very same poison. That really doesn't make any sense. And if you click on this website, you'll learn more about that. And really the product that makes Melaleuca stand head and shoulders above the rest is the Peak Performance Pack. And we'll just go into this page real quick just so you can kind of see how these websites are. But there's a lot of information about it, videos about it, testimonials, and there's a lot of good stuff to be said about the science. And Melaleuca has a patented vitamin. It's like, well, Melaleuca couldn't have thought about vitamins for the first time, but what they've actually figured out how to do is patent the absorption system with fructose compounding, so you actually get what was on the back. And most people don't actually get omega-3s and probiotics and all the vitamins and minerals. They don't have anything that fights against free radicals and inflammation, which is what causes aging. And so Melaleuca has, this is the top of the line. You cannot find better vitamins out there. There are some brands that are better than others, but the ones you get on the shelf at the grocery store really not helping you at all. And so there's just more, from weight loss to essential oils. doTERRA, Young Living think they're the essential oil companies and they have the edge, but Melaleuca's been one since 1985, decades before the others, and less expensive. We did a cost comparison, and you cannot get the same impurity anywhere else. And so really Melaleuca is a great way to save money. And with the profit sharing, it's really just about understanding who Melaleuca is, what they're trying to accomplish just by making the world healthier and safer, and just sharing with the people you care about. Hey, do you like being poisoned all the time, or do you want vitamins that actually work? Or it's a company about caring about people's health. And then it's just a referral. You don't have to keep a trunk full of products. You just tell people about a store. If Costco paid you every time you told someone of your friends to go to Costco, you probably tell more friends to go to Costco, and that's all Melaleuca is. And it's really simple, and you can make a good amount of money. And here's my dad, John Stark, to talk a little bit more about Melaleuca and what it's done for him and our family.
In 1991, when I opened my account with Melaleuca, that this was another one of those things. And whatever that means to you, it's not another one of those things. It's nothing like anything you've ever seen before. Basically, it's consumer direct marketing, where I say to you, David, has anybody ever told you about Melaleuca? And you would say yes or no, and that would direct the conversation. And if you said no, I'd say you need to look at this company. If you say yes, I'm saying, what's your favorite product? Because they have everything that you need, just about, that the grocery store has. And I started realizing that I could actually save money. And I had 4 kids. And David is the youngest, but 4 kids, they eat a lot of food. And when David was only about this long, he started eating, and he got into that bad habit. And I knew he wanted to continue that habit, so I had to keep feeding him. And I had to do something more to add to my income. And I also wanted health. wise, and so Melaleuca came into our lives. And I suggest to everybody, it's something you need to understand. Be an intelligent person, and intelligent people make intelligent decisions when they have all the information. And at the time when I first looked at it, I didn't have all the information. I knew all about it, which means I knew nothing. And it has blessed our lives. It has brought in literally hundreds of thousands of dollars into our home to put kids through college, to pay mortgages, and on the list goes. But it's been such a blessing in our lives, and I didn't realize it at the time, so I believe today that, I believe I know that it's going to be something that to the end of my life will continue to pay me for work I did, because it has that whole element of residual income about it.
Well, and the supplements specifically, like just recently your doctor was amazed by what they did for you. Went in for a heart check, and then a couple of years later you went back and they were surprised because your heart hadn't changed. Usually it degenerates, but it stayed the same, which is rare for...
Well, they did check my heart, and they said there's something with some of the valves that are doing something that wasn't supposed to be, and they says, you're going to have to have surgery in 1 to 5 years. And every year I go back, they'll say things like, that's interesting, when they look at the electrocardiogram or echocardiogram. And of course, when a doctor says that, you wonder what they're talking about. But they says that it's looking better. Let's not. We're not going to be doing surgery anytime soon. So that was good. And they don't know why, but it seems to be getting better, because 98% of the people that had what they saw a couple of years ago was like, you're going to have surgery. But they're saying no, probably not now. And I'm open to that idea, to not have surgery. But I love this country. I can live here, and I can have a surgery if I need it. But in other countries...
And that top-of-the-line supplements that could literally save your life shipped to your door every month. That's nice to have that. Yeah,
I go online, or you can pick up the phone. But you go online, and I just hit a few buttons, and I press send. And they come to my door in 2 to 3 days. Now, we shouldn't say that out loud. That's not what we're doing today, because they say, it'll be more days than that.
You never really know.
But you never know, but they get there very quickly. And it's things that are life-saving. And to me, it's been a joy to know that David has 2 little children, and my son in Michigan has 5 children. They keep changing every once in a while. I forget sometimes.
Well, and I remember at the beginning, he had asthma. We switched to Melaleuca products, and his asthma disappeared.
Who's that?
Ken.
Oh, Ken. Yeah.
Older brother Ken.
And then David has 2 sisters as well, and between them all, I got 13, or is it 14? They change quite often. Grandkids.
No, I just had 1. So was that 13?
So that's 13
that was your
or
baker's
14.
dozen?
Yeah. I just love those little people. But to me, it's so exciting to know that they live in a house where they're safe from toxins and things that will hurt them, because you get a product line that's not going to hurt them if they drink some of it, or which they're not supposed to do, and they'll probably spit it out, but there's not going to hurt them. It makes me feel so good as a grandpa for little people. They're saying that what's under most of the sinks, and probably under many of the sinks of the people that might see this video, they're going to say, what's under your sink? And I used to say that. And I would quite often go to people and say, well, let's look under there. And my goodness, when you look at what's under there and what could happen if your little person accidentally picked something up or put it in their mouth. Show me a 2-year-old that doesn't want to go help mom load the dishwasher and put something in that thing that you would get in the store that would burn the esophagus and your intestines, and might kill the little child. Whereas Melaleuca, they were saying, don't drink that stuff. It's not made for that, but it won't kill them. But you can call poison control, and they'll say you just give them lots of water.
And just flush it out.
Yeah. But then on the other side of that is those products work tremendously well. Like what a concept.
Green, healthy, safe products that actually do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, Melaleuca has given you better health, several $100,000, and a big stack of thank you cards for the lives that you've positively affected.
I don't know what happened a couple of years ago, but there was one year that somebody must have got on and said, write John and Linda a letter, because we got a whole stack of Christmas thank yous, appreciate yous. It was just, I still have the stack somewhere. It's just a joy to have that. One of the most painful things about being in Melaleuca, though, and is that not everybody's going to listen to you, and they're going to think, that they have their misconceptions or skepticism. That's a good thing. I welcome skeptics, because that's important. But when the skeptics die of a heart attack or something, that's what hurts.
Yeah.
Because they didn't listen, they wouldn't listen, and that's sad. That is sad.
It is sad. So if you'd like to give Melaleuca a chance and learn more about their over 400 products and services that they offer, then contact us and we can set a time to give you a full overview of everything that is the benefits of being a Melaleuca preferred member. And this really is something that is more of a commitment. It's not a one and done than just like Amazon is. It's really something that every month you commit to getting the toxins out of your life and getting better nutrition and a lot of the other things that Melaleuca has to offer. And so please just contact us if you'd like to learn more, and we can work together to helping you achieve your physical and financial goals. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Nano Silver technology. So my family has been known about silver for a long time. It started with colloidal silver. I made my first generator when I was 10, and since then we learned about nanotechnology, which is actually an upgraded, very different version that's a lot more stable and a lot more powerful. And we first heard about it when we cleared up double pneumonia in my disabled mother, and since then we've used it on pink eye. I used it on my 1-year-old, and it cured up croup in a third of the time that anything on the internet and the doctor said that it should happen. And we've acid reflux, and the list goes on of just the personal testimonies we've had, but there's all sorts of stuff across the board. It even works on malaria. They took it to Africa, and it's cured malaria. And I know it's taboo to say cures, but the things that we've seen it done are just amazing. And we actually use it for water purification instead of chlorine for survival. And even if there was a time that the doctors and hospitals weren't around, the Nano Silver is really something that can do a lot for you. And so if you want to learn more about the Nano Silver, I don't need to talk too much right now, because there's a good 7-minute video here that talks about the history and science and all that, and then there's more down below here. And so this is something that we've really come to trust, that has done so much. And the reason why you don't hear about it in hospitals is because the manufacturer really didn't want to go down and fight all the FDA red tape and the pharmaceutical companies. They really wanted normal people to be able to have access to this, to take it every day, and really just be healthy and be ready to survive bacteria, viruses, and any other thing that might be attacking. But here's my sister, who's a registered nurse and a mother of 4, and what she thinks about Nano Silver. And so as a nurse, you've done a lot of caregiving and a lot of things like that, and it's something that I talk about a lot, is the Nano Silver. So what does that mean to you? How's that affected your life?
Nano Silver has changed our life dramatically. There's a certain point of where antibiotics and vaccines are helpful, but preventative medicine again is so much better. Just recently, right during Christmas time, all my girls got the flu type A, and according to what I've heard is that flu type A was not even included in the vaccine, the flu vaccine. So you're going to get it anyways. We took silver. I gave them silver all the way through. In 4 days they were done, and it was the flu. It was the same high fever and the cough and the lack of appetite, the whole 9 yards. But within 4 days we were back to school, and most people who have the flu are out for a good month, if not more. And then the cough that lingers forever, it seems like forever, they take antibiotics because then it just grows. But the silver has taken care of that. In 4 days, we were back to school,
right,
back to normal. Yeah.
How many things have you used silver for?
Oh, goodness. That's a list. So from immunity, even just if somebody wakes up with a groggy throat or something, even if we don't take it every day, I will say, here's your teaspoon, and then when they come home in the evening, we don't have any symptoms of that groggy throat anymore. It's gone. It's worked its way through. So sniffles, the flu, and we've had some lung issues, like when we had pneumonia that we cured, and I think it was double pneumonia. Both lungs were affected, and we put it in a diffuser, and it took care of that without antibiotics. We've taken care of the stomach flu. We've had diarrhea issues, and that took care of that in a couple of days. Gosh, you name it, I think we've prevented it. Because we have kids in the public school. We could be contracting everything, and yet our preventative medicine has prevented a lot of stuff.
Either prevented it or sped up the healing process.
Absolutely sped it up.
Because I actually take it every day, and about 3 months ago, my whole household got sick, but I didn't.
But you didn't.
Because I take it every day, and they just don't think they need to until they get sick. Like, we wish we were. And it's like, well, I took it. I'm not getting sick, so now I have to take care of all of them. But as a nurse, you know what that's all about.
Yes. Well, I do have a rule of thumb for myself. If I'm giving a froggy throat child some silver, I take my dose, because they will cough in my face or sneeze and I walk into it. It's just inevitable. Mommies are not supposed to get sick. So this is one way to prevent that.
Right. And right now you're working in a public school, and a different one that your kids go to. So you could be changing and trading to all sorts of fun stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And I have not gotten sick. It's been a long time since I've gotten it. So
that's good.
Yes. 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 Just like if your baby's sleeping, you sleep. So if you give your babies immunity boosting, give your mama some too.
Right. It'd be nice to have that if there ever was a disaster situation where, like, you can't get antibiotics and it treats so many different things, you don't even know what's ailing you.
Right.
And so that's a good thing to have, just to keep your family safe in that situation.
Yes. Hydration is definitely the key in everything. But even that, there will be a point where you just can't get it in someone, where a teaspoon you can at least get into their cheeks and it will do its work.
Right. It's hard to get someone to take a pill sometimes.
No, that's just, that's hard. Yeah.
Awesome. And the last thing I just want to tell you about is this external education link. So in the Path to Resilient Living, there's a lot of different links to different resources. And so at this external education button, we just go through all the different websites that we recommend, learning what FEMA and the CDC, the Red Cross, what the Civilian Emergency Response Team, which we recommend that you become a part of, which trains people how to survive during disasters and work together, to some YouTube videos and other people who are doing good things in their specific niches. But that's basically it for the website. So we just really appreciate you listening to us and following through on this website tutorial. Feel free to look more. There's lots of videos to look at. And we just wanted to reiterate that our mission is to keep your heart beating and family eating for as long as possible, no matter the circumstances. So as you can see, I spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and money just trying to build Resilient Living into what it is right now. And I really hope that you decide to engage with us. We really want to help people have a food supply, have some kind of a food assurance, a food that no matter what happens, your family is assured to have at least a few weeks, months, maybe years worth of food. And having toxic-free bodies and toxic-free homes, so that you're not developing any degenerative diseases or letting cancer cells grow in your body. And on to just having some kind of a plan in the community for if there is a war with any of these countries, North Korea, Russia, China, Cuba, Nicaragua, Iran, the list goes on and it's growing, of the people who wouldn't mind to see America shut down. But really, I don't want to sell fear. I really want to sell hope, because hope is something that people are going to need a lot of. And I'm selling it preemptively, which is a lot more difficult because people don't want to wrap their minds around the reality of how volatile our world is. But we really encourage you if none of this really is relevant to you, then fine, that's okay. Just go on with life, enjoy life as best you can, And I hope that at some point that you do wake up to the reality. And if you don't, then I wish you the best. I just want to give everyone an opportunity to hear what I'm doing. And if at the very least you could just subscribe to this YouTube channel, that would be great. And I would really appreciate the support up to wanting to join with me and work with me and start building your own community. And I can help you do that. And I would love to talk with you. So you can reach out by email or call me, or just go to my website, resilientliving.solutions, and we can start a relationship that will hopefully lead you to a self-sufficient life, that you will have the peace of mind that no matter what happens in this society or the society as it falls, that you will have something to protect your family.